So it's 2:58 in the evening, and it's November 15, 2025, and it's 70 degrees in Chicago. The weather is beautiful. I'm here washing a few of my mother's clothes, and I tell you, it is beautiful. My sister in California, she sent us a picture saying it's just pouring down out there in California. But this is like the perfect weather, and it's all the way 70 degrees. Even though this morning a neighbor called us and she was saying that someone, whoever, came through and busted like the driver's window, the front driver's window, on like around 5 cars right in front of right there on our block, on the south side of the street. And so my daughter's car, they had got her on the opposite side, on the north side of the street, and got like a small window in the back. They didn't get the big window. And so the thing about the big window, normally on most cars, the big window, they usually have those in stock, when they had one of the little small windows from the back, man, that took us probably like a good 2 weeks. And I was able to find out from someone at the dealership that a dealership that's 4 or 5 hours away happened to have that small window in. That was the only way we were going to get it. And the price was, I think, $60 plus shipping or whatever, $80. Which was great because people were saying $300 or whatever. But anyway, this time they got the big window, the front window on the driver's side, on like 5 cars. The young man at the end of the alley in a corner house, my daughter, another white car, another neighbor, her boyfriend's car, then another neighbor's car, and then so they hit like 5. And then somebody was saying, a guy came over and he was like, yeah, they got the cars on the other block too. And so one neighbor was asking him, how do you know that? And how did you know to come on the next block over? So one of the neighbors, he called the police, and so the police did a report right there on all the cars, because normally you had to go to the police station, but because it was so many cars, it's two young ladies, 2 black police officers, female. They just took their time and looked at their licenses and wrote each one like a police report. Even though most people with their insurance, they have a $500 deductible. So if you got a $500 deductible, even if it's a $250, most of the windows you can get for $100 or $150. So more than likely, the first $250 or first $500 you got to pay yourself. So the insurance is not going to cover it unless you had items that were taken, like laptops or something that's $2,000. And you pay the first $500, and then insurance will cover the rest. But anyway, man, it was crazy. And then one of the neighbors, a young man, he said, the way I found out about it, I saw it on Facebook. So it's called, I don't know if it's Chicago Crime or Crime Stoppers or whatever, but I'm going to do a screenshot and put it in. And check this out. on Facebook under Crime Stop or whatever it's called, whoever deal with that page came by on our block and took pictures of each one of the cars. Each one of the cars, and posted it up on Facebook and said, and so basically they're saying that it was, they call them the YN, that they did it, like the young N word. So really? And so everybody is saying, you know, when they got home, and then one of the neighbors, they was like, well, her youngest brother left out 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, whatever. So when he left out, all the cars was good. And so one of them that has, I don't want to say their names, but that has the door camera, they looked at it. They said it was really very, very suspect. And how some cars went by and then they came right behind it, and the car came the other way and they stopped and they flashed the light. They flashed lights on the cars. And he said all of a sudden on the recording, the Wi-Fi went crazy. You know, like if the Wi-Fi was disconnected, or if you had like a storm and you lose your Wi-Fi, you lose your connection. And so somehow they were able to scramble. They were able to scramble the Wi-Fi. So on their recording, they were not able to get when they actually bust the windows out. They got when they drove up, when they jumped out, when they flashed their lights, but that other part, they were able to scramble the Wi-Fi. And so basically looking at the recording, you can see the time on there. And they said, based on the recording, that it looked like it happened like around 5 something. So, and then maybe at 4 or 5, I'm not sure, maybe before then, because if you go to the Crime Stoppers or whatever they call Chicago Crime Stoppers, I think they had like, when I looked at it at 10, it was like 4 hours ago or something. So, you know, and the thing is that Chicago is a big city. We all know that. So you is with the Crime Stoppers or the crime, whatever. So how did you know to come to this particular block? Who gave you the upper hand? And so, I mean, unless you in cahoots, or unless somebody is telling you, how did you know to come to this particular block? Oh, they just hit the windows. Or, I mean, and this is early in the morning. And so you done already came by, took pictures and posted it. And now it's like a hidden hand. You throw the rock and then you say, well, oh, they did it. And look at what they did. They knocked these, and then you post the cars. I mean, I said, man, people really think people are stupid. You know, people really think folks are stupid. And there's no way that y'all not in cahoots. And then you want to say that it's the YN, the young N word, the young, you know, so it's like war on black youth. War on black youth. That's still going on. And the thing is that the white car that was behind my daughter's car, when the young lady, you know, when she was, her and her partner, whoever, about to leave, and she just started saying, she told us, she was like, and whoever, when they went in, they didn't even take my phone. My phone was in there. Another car at the corner, the brother was like, he had some type of equipment in there. He had in his car like change, a bunch of change. He said they didn't take nothing. So ain't no way that the young black guys out here, that if they broke in your car and if they saw a charge, if they saw a cell phone, are you kidding me? They saw a cell phone. If they saw a container full of change, ain't no way they was gonna leave that if that was their intention, where they're taking the time to bust out 5 windows and get caught. They're gonna bust out 5 windows, and then in my daughter's car, they just scrambled and took paperwork out, but she was nothing in there. So in all of the cars, they didn't take nothing. But whoever y'all in cahoots, you had the people to come by and take pictures and post it right quick, and then you point the finger and say it's the young N-word. They did it. But how did you know to come over there so early in the morning? What are you doing up so early in the morning? So y'all going all around the city and doing this so that y'all can justify all-out war on black youth. This was like bizarre. And with everybody having a conversation, it's like, man, wait a minute, this ain't adding up. And one young guy, he was like, I saw it on Facebook on a Crime Stoppers. Here, you can download. And then you see pictures of the cars on there. What the freaking Friday? It ain't Friday, but I was like, oh my God. So they're going all around the city, busting out windows, taking pictures and posting it on Facebook, and pointing the finger at the young, what they call YN, our young brothers. Yep. So gotta stay awake. And you gotta go and plug in to where you can receive knowledge so that you're not in the wrong place when it all go down. So, I mean, it's a lot going on. And all the neighbors, this morning, everybody was out. We was trying to reach another neighbor, so we calling each other. One neighbor called me. He said, Judith, I want to let you know. And I called my daughter. And for some reason, this time they didn't get my mother's car, because they didn't had a field day on this car. And this car had been in front of her house for years. And that's where I always keep the club on there. Not that if they wanted to just cause you like an inconvenience, they'll do it. But when you see this big club, ain't nothing you gonna do with this. And then nowadays, nobody is leaving money in the car. So, yeah, but today is Saturday, November 15th, man. And, we definitely thank Allah for life. We thank Allah for life, because we have to put things into perspective. When stuff like this happen, you got to put things into perspective. You have your life. And just like, we lifting everybody up in prayers that's going through a traumatic situation with health, and our brother Hashim, one of my favorite brothers in the nation, one of the best brothers that I know, that he's very dear to my heart. I mean, I remember one Savior's Day, I would just look at him on Facebook just hitting the pavement with the word of God, with the Final Call newspaper. This brother talking about top soldier. You look around, he in St. Louis, he in Jacksonville, Florida, he's in Chicago. He's all over the place with the word. I mean, he's rode on my buses going to Savior's Day, different places, and he go back, get him a spot, and have his laptop, whatever he's doing, have his music. And one of his favorite pieces that he did that I love is he singing about Chicago. I love Chicago. And so that's like one of my favorite songs. When I see him doing that, I was like, this man is supposed to have, he's supposed to be on one of those, what you call them, the big old, I don't even know how high it is, in New York, Times Square. With his music, and he just has hit the pavement for so many years. I know him from way back soldiering, and it's like I can connect with him on another level because I know what it's like to have to hit the pavement and to make things happen for yourself. I know what it's like being the oldest in my family and basically being a single parent for so long to my girls, and I also know the rewards of being a single parent, having both of my daughters with their master's degree, just doing well, even though they're still working hard. They're trying to achieve more things, but I'm grateful and I'm thankful to Allah for blessing me. But I know what it's like to have to hit the pavement and then taking baked goods and different things to youth shelters, seeing our young people homeless. So many young people homeless. So, my heart goes out. So I'm always out here doing something, trying to help somebody, trying to help myself so that I'm always able to do something. But, Brother Hashim, he's just one of those extraordinary human beings. And I thank Allah that Tariq, one of his son Tariq is with him, and I know Golden Child was with him, and I think he had to come back to the city, or he probably has an engagement. But they have been so wonderful, keeping everybody posted on how Brother Hashim is doing. And then Tariq showed how he was able to start moving his shoulders. And if you watch the recording, and then you could see like his hand open up like that, I was like, ain't nothing but Allah. But he is a believer. And after the accident, and when he first went live, and he was like, he was going to get through it by Allah's grace because of his belief. So I know he has had conversations with Allah. And even like his son Tariq said, that the prayers of the righteous availeth much, So it's nothing like having a community of believers and a community of people that believe in the prayers. So everybody has been praying for brother, and I'm so happy. It's a gift from Allah, and for all of his work, and just Allah letting him know that I will not forget you, and what you do it does not go unnoticed. Allah has seen all of his good work, all of his work. And so, I'm just so happy that in his time of need, that he has an opportunity to see when he's on his back, that how his sons have come to his aid, and how his friend that first posted came. And he has love. He has none but love. But, I thank Allah for just healing his body, and then we could just see him coming back. And I went through all of that because a young lady sent me like a message, and she wanted to know who he was. Who is this person? So, but I thank Allah, and the weather is just beautiful. And even though we went through, and my daughter went through this, and other people on the block, and then the block over with somebody busting out their window, and I'm sure they probably had just spent a lot of money trying to keep your car running, and people who may be on link, you just don't know, and everybody don't have it to be able to go get their window fixed. I know I ain't have it, but thank Allah, my daughter, she was able to make way because she just had paid and got a window fixed 2 or 3 months ago. So, or maybe just 2 months ago. But, I thank Allah just to keep things in perspective. And I told my daughter it's not like it was a loss of life. And so, on this Saturday, beautiful Saturday, we just have to always put things in perspective and come from a place of gratitude. 12:18 right now. And we were out here earlier this morning because somebody came through and busted out. Maybe, let me see, I think 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe around 6 cars in this area. So it's 12:20 in the afternoon, and I got a call this morning around 7:45 from a neighbor, and her children realized that someone came through and busted out like around 5 windows out of 5 different cars. And so right here, it was one car here, a white car, and then my daughter's car was right here. They got her. And then further down, it was a third car, and then that car right there. So it's crazy. And then on the other block, they got a lot of cars. So I'm just gonna sweep up some of this glass.